So good. Good morning, everybody. Hello from beautiful Puerto Rico. How's everybody doing this morning? Is everybody fired up this morning? Okay, so I hope you're fired up this morning. Susan, Marilyn, Razzie, Art by Tammy, Tara. Oh my gosh, Carla. Are you back in Puerto Rico or are you in Las Vegas? Where are you, girl? Hi, Clean Beauty. Oh, I love that. Clean Beauty. Sandra, so good. Beyond Fear Coaching, so good. Okay, so this is crazy because this is the last week that we're going to run Shanda On Demand. Next week, I'm going to do a revenue challenge, and I'm really fired up about that. And I just want to tell you all that because what happens when I stop going live online is I start getting these messages where people are like, where'd she go? So I want you to know that I did not abandon you. I have a crazy schedule throughout the year, and I just want to share this before I get into today's content. Throughout the year, I run pretty hard. And then usually the month of December, I like to take it off, be with my family, recalibrate. I'm not really an everything in moderation girl. I am a girl that goes all in on whatever it is that I'm working on. So if I don't put guardrails up, what will happen is I will work through every ounce of my day. Do you guys, anybody feel me on that? Anybody like that? Every ounce of my day if I don't put guardrails up. So what I do is I schedule my ski season. Like I scheduled my ski season at Deer Valley in Utah last year. So last year I scheduled my ski season for like literally like coming up here in like a month. And so if I don't do that, then what happens is I miss my life. And there's nothing worse, and just forgive me here if I say this and it's hitting home for you, but anybody out there, you feel like sometimes you resent your life, or maybe you resent the person that you love, or maybe you resent your career, or maybe you resent the company that you work for, right? Anybody have that? Yes or no? Anybody have that where it's like there's people in your life, or there's situations in your life that you resent? And I want to share something with you. The resenting your spouse, resenting your career, resenting your business, all of that comes down to the fact that we didn't schedule in a life that we love. And so I'm not going to spend a bunch of time on that today. What I want to do is I want to ask you a very important question. And the question that I want to ask you is, what do you need to believe for? Like, what do you need to believe for so much bigger than what you're playing at right now? What do you need to believe for? I'm going to flip that question. Because you might or might not know what that means. So I'm going to flip that question. I'm going to ask you, where is there something in your life right now? Maybe it's hiring somebody. Maybe it's having the money for something. Maybe it's having a baby. Maybe it's getting married. What do you need to believe for bigger that you're not currently doing? Like you actually feel like this might be a tough moment in your life somewhere. Like a tough moment in your life, like it could be, oh my gosh, you got hit with a big tax bill. And now you're in a situation where you're like, I don't know if I'll ever be able to pay that tax bill back. You feel under the water financially. Anybody? Yes? Anybody? I see Kathy, resentment, right? I agree. I love scheduling. Yes. Okay. So having funds beyond fear coaching. Okay. So when I started playing this way, I think it really made a difference for me. And I still want to tell you that I have great hesitation on setting goals that are super big, because I like to hit them because they make me feel good. It makes me feel good hitting my goals. And so preface what I'm about to say with, I'm human, I'm like you, and I'm in the struggle, and the struggle is real too. And so what I do is I like to set my year-long goals. I like to hit them in 6 months. And the reason why is it sets me on my edge. So for instance, I had a goal for 2,000 people to do our leadership program this year. We hit 2,000 people in June, right? So we put 2,000 people through that training by June. And so, but what happened was I looked at the calendar and I was coming up on half a year. And I know my rule, which is hit your year-long goal in half the year. And in 6 weeks, we hit our year-long goal. In 6 weeks, right? And so I haven't opened up selling our leadership program or pushed it anywhere. I offered a great holiday bonus for holiday gift to our clients that meant to be live at their last mastermind if they wanted to get in. But I took all the pressure off me because I'd already hit the goal. Do you guys hear what I'm saying? So when I wrote down some notes today, and just know that I want to give you some Christmas prepaid visas for people who participate and participate all in. Okay. So take a moment right now. And if you could share this live or tag somebody, share this live or tag somebody. Faith is going to be looking on our platforms to see who's doing this. And I'm going to start, Faith is going to pick people on our different platforms, and she is going to message you after the lives, and she is going to say that you were the best participator on the planet. And that's why she's going to gift you with a holiday prepaid visa so you can go buy that shirt you want, or go get your hair did, or go get your nails done, or go get a massage, or buy yourself a pair of shoes, or whatever that looks like. So we're going to give out prepaid visas on this Shanda On Demand. And they're going to be anywhere from $25, $50 to $500. Okay. $25, $50 to $500. And so I don't know how big you want to play, but how big you want to play inside your head as we see you engaging on the platforms and sharing this with people that you love, sharing this with your communities. Okay. So go do that now. Okay. So here we go. So I wrote this down. I said, what is not happening in your life right now that you want to happen? Right? What is not happening in your life right now that you want to happen? What is that? What is not happening in your life right now that you want to happen? Like if you looked at this goal, whatever this goal is, it's not happening. What is it? Okay. So at one point in my life, it was, I wanted to find my husband. I was tired of dating and not getting very far in my dating world. So when I looked at my goal, I had a belief system that good men were hard to find, which was such a load of, you know what, because that's just not true. There's no limit of men or women on this planet or people that you could love. And so what is your goal? Is it financial? Is it relationship? Is it hiring somebody, right? And that's typically, there's a goal that you haven't hit yet that you're still contemplating with. You're still not all in on it. You're not obsessed about it yet. And the reason why you're not obsessed about it yet is because there's something in your consciousness that believes that it's either hard or that it's not going to happen. If I put my energy towards it, it's not going to work. I have a hire right now that finally it clicked for me, where I feel all in and I feel confident, I feel competent. And because of that, I'm willing to create space in my life to do more of those interviews because I feel more excited about it than before I felt more fear around it. Do you guys hear what I'm saying? And so when I finally clicked around finding my husband, I dated 5 times a week. I went from no dates. I'm actually quite shy. I went from no dates to 5 dates a week. And that happened for 90 days, almost every week. Okay. I actually almost bawled my eyes out because when I finally hired the coach that showed me how to lead gen men, yes, I look through every lens as business. Everything's a marketing plan to me. Like the news is a marketing plan. Dating is a marketing plan. Parenting is a marketing plan. Like running a great family is a marketing plan. Like everything's a marketing plan for me. Growing your business is a marketing plan. In fact, if you don't have good marketing, your business entirely falls apart. Right? Because marketing is how you reach more people. So when I finally figured that out with lead genning men, it was because I finally gave up a story. I gave up an idea that whatever my goal was that wasn't happening was possible. So a big thing that I've realized is that when I don't know about you, but when I don't prioritize something, there's no need for me to beat myself up. There's no need for you to beat yourself up because of the fact that there's just a belief system challenge. That's why we don't go all in. That's why we hesitate. And where I find relief around this is that I could never argue you on your belief. Like if you're a woman who loves a woman, how could I argue that? I mean, I can have my values, right? But how can I argue your feelings, your belief systems? I can't, right? Like that's where you create war. And so I'm not going to create war with myself because I've got a goal that I haven't hit, that I have a belief system that something is hard. And then ultimately what that comes down to is I believe that I can't handle it. Now, this is where my faith gets really big because as long as I work off my merit of what I believe I can handle, I am short-sighted. I am short-sighted. right? And when I operate off of, okay, I'll take it into marketing, for example. There was an entire year where I sat and I'd look at a target, say, I'm going to put up real numbers for me. Okay. So you're either going to stretch up or you're going to stretch down. You're going to just understand. I'll say, I want 27,000 people to register for an event, a challenge, right? So you guys know, do you know that I'm doing a revenue challenge next week? If you want to come to it and you're on Instagram or Facebook, not a Facebook group, but Facebook page, you can go to jointherevenuechallenge.com or just comment the word challenge. If you comment the word challenge, I can send you a message in your inbox, okay? Comment the word challenge. Awesome, Rosie's already in. If you're already in, you're good to go, okay? You don't have to register again. So say I want to do something like the revenue challenge next week. And by the way, I have a client that, I just want to stop here for a second, that fought me on what she thought was possible, her goal. She had this big goal and I would give her coaching and she had all of these thoughts that really said, I can't, or the industry, this person is in network marketing. The industry doesn't work like that. It's different. By the way, it took her all year to implement, which I don't care how long it takes. She finally did it. She finally took the coaching and she's made $5,000 one day and $5,000 another day. And I'm sitting there going, girl could be making $5,000 a day. Instead of $10,000 in 2 weeks, she could be making $5,000 a day. What if we actually took our goals and we started to play like that? When I cracked $1 million a year, you know what I did? I was like, I wonder if I could do $100,000 a month. And that was a huge stretch, by the way. 50,000 was a huge stretch at that time, like massively. I said, I wonder if I could do $100,000 a month. And then what I did was I built my belief system. And I said, I can do this. And this is not positive thinking, by the way. This is reframing your mind. I can do this because I moved to America with $500 in my pocket and wasn't allowed to work and I made it. Right? Now I would say I could do this because I found my husband in 90 days and had a baby 90 days later. Not had a baby 90 days, got pregnant 90 days later, right? I could do this because now I would say I've built an 8-figure company and I know how to make 7 figures. I know how to make $1 million in the bank in 48 hours. I know how to do that. So if I played the same game, I'd say, how do I do $1 million a week? How do I do $1 million a day? So my client fought me all year because she said, I'm in network marketing and what you do in coaching doesn't transfer to network marketing, which is not true because network marketing just has a product. I have a coaching product. You have another product, right? And I learned my models in real estate. And she finally broke the mold and she's done $5,000 in one day, $5,000 in another. I had a client yesterday that I was teaching revenue to. So if you haven't registered for our revenue challenge on Monday, you really should do that. It is the last 5 days of the year that I'm going to push my best content that I've learned that is time. It fits the time because, by the way, you should be pricing different right now because of recession. You should not be pricing the same way. Go look at your credit card declines. Go look at attrition. Go look at people's show up rates. They're different. And by the way, the media still hasn't told everybody we're in a recession yet, right? Like if you look, they still haven't kind of unleashed it. However, there's thousands and thousands of people being laid off right now, right? And so that will hit your customer or client's home. You know what I mean? It's like their home, people that you're working with or helping or selling to your buyers, the recession will hit their home. And when it does, and then the media goes and shares that we are in a recession, it will already be too late. Remember, if you want visas or prepaid, like $25, $50, $500, I want to see some good comments, right? I want to see you thinking right now. Like when I'm speaking, what are you thinking about, right? Share it on the comments. So you got to remember that instead of getting self-focused, this is why I said, on this live, it's not good enough to have an opinion. You got to clean your heart. When your heart's clean, you don't focus on yourself. You focus on other people. Like when you're good, you focus on other people. So even if you're not good, you still got to find a way to focus on other people. And so when this recession hits all of your customers or clients, you want to be looking at how can you hit your goal? So I like to have 27,000 people on my challenges. Right. And so this is not an abnormal goal for me. This is not an abnormal result for me. Right. And so with that, with that, say the recession knocks it down to like 8,000. In order for you to hit your unrealistic goals, you have to manage your mind, right? You actually have to manage your mind. And the way that I manage my mind is, instead of saying, oh, let's just settle for 8,000 because of the recession, I say things like this. I put up all size Post-its and I look at them and I go, okay, 8,000 looks like that's what it's going to do. So where would I find another, where would I find another 10,000 people? Where would I find another 5,000 people? And what happens is, if I'm going to hit the 27,000, how am I going to do it? And I literally start, like, I grab a wall size Post-it and I literally start to move my body and start to move around. Like, I get out of realistic thinking, because realistic thinking had me years ago hanging out in a Starbucks coffee shop, single, dating all the wrong men and having no money. And that sucks. And at one point, on top of that, I had a yucky body, right? That I didn't love. Right? And people are like, oh, love your body. Yeah. When you love your body, when you put energy into it. When you love your business, when you start to think like this, because you start to win. It's courage that causes these wins to happen. So I sit there and I go, I never, if you could go inside of Hardcore Business and ask any of our team, I believe that they would say that Shanda is relentless on finding a way. And so, like, it's almost like I play with the universe. And by the way, I don't call God the universe. Like, I call God God. I don't call God the universe. He made the universe. If you know anything about scripture, the reason why you have authority and law of attraction is because you can speak things into existence, because it is your dominant right. So you would never want to ask the universe for feedback. You would never want to do that, because now you're taking atmospheres that have been programmed. Think about if you hang out, think about this for a second. If you hang out with negative people, they'll pull you down. If I say, oh, I want to do 27,000, somebody says, oh yeah, that's impossible, there's a recession. Very different than if I sit at a table of friends, they're like, oh yeah, you've done 27,000 a million times. You did 27,000 in the last recession. In fact, you made more money in the last recession than you did in the, like, whoever speaks to you makes a difference. This is why I don't go consult negative people. I also don't consult people that haven't created the result that I wanted. And I 100% never put my power in the universe, ever, because I have dominance over it. And I tell the universe what to bring forward, right? Like, you've got full, so I don't want to go on a huge tangent on this, but it is so important for you to realize how much authority you have. Because when you get familiar with not hitting your goals, guess what happens with the spirit of familiarity? Everybody should write this down. This is what happens with the spirit of familiarity. You stop engaging. You stop engaging. And the reason why you stop engaging is because you've actually gotten comfortable in a certain pattern and lifestyle and results that you could put anything. How many of you guys have put goals up on your New Year's resolution? How many has already done your planning for 2023? Put me in the comment section. Who's already done your planning for 2023? Put me in the comment section. Awesome if you have. How many of you guys know for sure that you're going to hit that? Like, for sure you're going to hit that. If you know for sure that you're going to hit that, I want you to comment the word win. Comment the word win. If you know for sure you're going to hit the goal for 2023, put the word win in. Like, without a doubt, that that's going to happen. So Sarah believes that she will. Who else? Put the word win. Jay believes that he will, right? Put the word win. I can't tell if you think if you're actually going to hit your goals in 2023. So a few of you guys, Rose, Heather, Diva, Heidi. Okay, so a few of you guys believe that you're going to win. Awesome. What if you set something so big that honestly, you weren't sure if you could do it? Like, you would have to partner with your authority and get out of any spirit of familiarity, right? So here's a great example. I dated a guy who said, I never want to get married and I never want to have children. I mean, I was crazy, because I sat there going, I still dated him. I wanted to get married. I wanted to have children. Dated him for 4 years, right? We ended up getting engaged. And I just was relentless about saying what I wanted and speaking it, that he proposed and said he'd have children. Lo and behold, I thought it was a joke from God. I walked around my neighborhood saying, I don't want to marry this guy. It's so unbelievable the box we put ourselves in, and why we don't prioritize things is either we're afraid that we can't hit it, or we don't prioritize things because we're actually familiar with the way our life is going. And so you don't want to have anything familiar, because it will completely, this is why moving is so powerful. Like, we just moved to Puerto Rico. And the reason why it's so powerful is it shakes everything up so that nothing is familiar. And you now innovate something extraordinary in your life and inside your business, which then creates excitement. When you have joy, you have power and you have strength. Test it out. When you don't have joy, you have no power, you have no strength. So I'm going to encourage you to look at your 2023 goals. Look at your end of year goals. Make sure you come to the revenue challenge next week, right? Make sure you come to the revenue challenge next week. And let me show you how to price differently. Let me show you how to have authority over your cash flow. Let me show you how one of my clients who I taught revenue to yesterday went out and generated $1,600 in one day. And it was just a couple hours later. Let me show you how another woman that was praying, her and her wife, they were praying that, like, does it make sense to stay in a mastermind or travel or whatever? They're praying, and 18 days later, they generated $27,000 after our last mastermind. Now, I'm not claiming those results at all. They're claiming them, because what they did is they managed their mind right. And so I'm going to encourage you today to look at, one, what is your revenue plan for 2023? And I don't mean just your financial goals. I mean, what is your revenue plan and why? I'm going to recommend that you tie it to some sort of a give. For instance, do you want to go to the local orphanage, or to Project Underground Railroad, or any of Toys for Tots? Like, last year we committed to $100,000 for Toys for Tots. And it didn't look like we were going to hit it. And I used this with our team, and I said, the money's coming from somewhere. The money's coming from somewhere. I know the money's going to come from somewhere. I forgot to raise money. And we were down to our last 6 weeks. Sure enough, I generated 20,000, which was significantly above the 100,000. Somebody came in and donated 70,000. And then I matched it another 10,000. So we hit our 100,000 in the 6 weeks. If you look at my pattern, I'm seeing a pattern in me as I'm talking to you right now, that I can pretty much generate any commitment in 6 weeks. I should test this next year. I should literally do a 6-week challenge. Faith, remind me on this. I should do a 6-week challenge on, if I coached you on how to think right for 6 weeks. How many of you guys would love that? Put 6 or 6 week. How many of you guys would love that? Put 6 week. Put 6 week if you guys would love that. That I can generate, I can close the gap, have 2,000 people do my leadership program in 6 weeks, have $100,000 raised for charity in 6 weeks, right? Have whatever it is that but you got to put this commitment up. But then it literally needs to be a commitment. It's not a good idea. A good idea is many people's plans, many people's goals. But a commitment is, I know there's a way to hit that. I know there's a way to create that goal. I know there's a way to fall in love. I know there's a way to have my boyfriend or my girlfriend want to get married. I know there's a way to find my husband in 90 days. That's my number one video. I teach business. The number one thing everybody wants to know is how I found my husband in 90 days. And I needed money to do that, by the coach, because I had to email my coach all of my crazy mind battle. When a guy didn't text me back, when I remember dating this guy I was hot for, it's 4th of July, and the dude, I talked to him every day, crickets. He never asked me out for the 4th of July. If I didn't have that coach that I had money for, revenue to pay, I would have lost my shit on him. And that relationship wouldn't have picked up. Do you see what I'm saying? So money touches everything we love. It's not the source of happiness, but it definitely adds magnification on happiness. It magnifies whatever it is happening in your life. So if you're already happy, it can really magnify. If you're miserable, it's going to magnify that. Money is a magnifier. So some of you guys are like, you should go get more money because of the fact that you're so freaking happy that you should just be sharing that happiness everywhere, right? And so people should be asking me, instead of how did I find my husband in 90 days, what was the mental game that had me stay dating men that I knew were not my husbands? Why did I have to do that? Because I had to get the stuff out of me. I had to get all of the yep, not my husband, yep, not my husband, not yep. I had to get all of that out of me to be able to have a great husband. By the time I met my husband, he was too short, too skinny, he was wickedly in shape. Like he was so slim. And I was like, yep, to this, to that, to this, to that. But because I was in the practice of commitment, no matter what, I fell in love with him in 48 hours. But he never would have gotten a first date if I wasn't in the commitment. So I'm going to end this live on this. I can almost promise you, if you've been in a battle, right? You've been in the same pattern and you're kind of tired of it. How many of you guys you can see a pattern in your life, put the word pattern, that you're kind of tired of? Like you're just over it. Like you see the same pattern in your finances, you see the same pattern in your relationships, you see the same pattern in your fitness, and maybe you can do like a challenge like I'm doing next week, but after that challenge, you go back to the same mentality. Hear what I'm saying? Like there's this pattern, this thinking pattern, because it's the thinking pattern that puts you into it. And so what would you need to do to break that? And I'm going to say the word commit. I never stop short of my commitments, even when I don't get it, I don't understand it, I don't like it. So I'm going to share this with you. Some of you guys are working for companies that you don't even know what success looks like. You don't even know what success looks like in your career. You're super passive. Some of you guys are running businesses that you really don't know what success looks like. And so it's just like this hamster wheel that's exhausting. Some of you guys are in relationships that there is no commitment that is measurable to go to the next level. And so what's happening is you're slowly attritioning and you don't even know it. That's when infidelity happens. It's like I know somebody who had literally would tell you sex is great, the relationship's great, we're best friends, ended up cheating. Right? It's like, what happened? But what happened? Lack of vision. The Bible will say, without a vision, my people will perish. And that is one of the biggest wake-up calls for me. One of the biggest wake-up calls for me is to realize you need a vision in every single area of our life. And it better be a vision that is a year-long vision that we're committed to doing in 6 months. And that will amplify our edge. And it will put us in action in a way that we squeeze the juice out of our life. The people who walk slow start to walk fast. You don't have to wait for a crisis. I just had a very, very close friend of mine, Dave, pass away 2 days ago. His wife text messaged me. And, honestly, one of the nicest men I've ever known in my entire life. And I woke up this morning, I said to my husband, I said, the first things out of my mouth is I said, I can't believe Dave's not on this earth anymore. And then my next statement was, but that dude left everything on the playing field. He was an amazing husband. He didn't back down to marriage is hard. He was an amazing father. He was a founder of ClickFunnels. He, he's an incredible friend. He was never somebody who told you how much he made or what his accomplishments were. He was so humble in his heart. He always made you feel like you were important. And so I share this with you guys right now not because of just saying, like, you don't want a crisis like what happened to Dave. You want to get yourself in a way that you're not complacent anywhere, in my opinion, unless you don't. But that's what I'm up to in my life right now. And so next week, I'm going to show you how to make revenue, not just for you, but how does a client of mine say, I want to see if I can make $1 million in a month. How did I say, I want to see if I can make $1 million in 48 days. But the real goal is how do you make $1 million a day? When you start to think like that, you have to change the way that you operate. You change your marketing plans, you change your ways of being, you change your purpose, you change everything, right? You change everything when you start thinking like that. So I want you to look at your year-long goal next year, and I want you to ask yourself, whatever that revenue is, what if you made it every day? What if you made that year-long goal every day? What would have to happen? I hope this live transforms your life in a way that you'll just, instead of discount your goal, you'll just try it on for size and say, you know what if I just tried that? What if I just sat down in intimacy? You get no badge of honor for being busy. Running around saying, I'm busy, just tells me you're capped out, right? And that's not a badge of honor. That's not somebody I'm going to go do more business with. That's someone that you stop texting and asking out, and you stop asking them on vacations. That's when their life slowly starts to attrition out, when you're too busy, right? You should never be too busy. You recalibrate. You want to get rid of too busy? Take your year-long goal and ask yourself, what if I could make that in a day? And play with it. Play with it. And I challenge you right now to sit down for 30 minutes with yourself today. And maybe you call a friend that you know is brilliant in finances or makes a lot of money and say, would you play a game with me today? I want to play what if I took this year-long goal and I did it every day? What would I have to do? What would have to happen for me to take that year-long goal and I make it a day's revenue? A day's end-of-day revenue is that year-long goal. And I challenge you to think bigger. People tell us to think bigger, but this is how. I challenge you to renew your mind and to just partner with God, partner with some friends that are big thinkers. And if you don't know any, just partner with God. He's the best entrepreneur on the planet, right? Or in the ecosystem. And completely play the game and see what you come up with. I would be willing to bet today there's going to be some changes in your 2023 goals, because you'll start to see, wow, this is possible. If you want me to help you with that goal, comment the word challenge, and I'll send you a direct inbox message. And I will show you next week, for my last 5 days of working of the year, I will show you next week how to create revenue like that and take that to the next level. And so I'm going to challenge you to just give yourself a shot to play like that. Because just like my friend Dave, who never could have known that his life would have ended 2 days ago, he never would have known that. That's how Dave played. That's how Russell Brunson plays. That's how Dave played. They play unrealistic. And truly, my friends, all it is sitting down and doing the exercise that I just asked you to do today. So I'm going to end this live on that, and know that I'm cheerleading you on. I couldn't love entrepreneurs more than I do now, or at least I don't know how I could love you more, because I feel in partnership in this world, it is our responsibility to generate revenue and to pay it forward into the areas that your heart feels called to pay it forward in. It is not just for a bigger house, although that's great, get it. If you feel called for a bigger house, the reason why you feel called for a bigger house is probably the people who are going to sit in your living room, that you're going to collaborate with and joint venture partnership with, that never would have done that if you were in a small little 2 or 3 bedroom New York apartment. Do you get what I'm saying? That might have been playing big for you because it has a great view, or my old house in California that has full 360 views of 180 views of the ocean. I know we've got more in us. I know it. I know it. But we got to sit down in some intimacy and start thinking like this and see what opens up today. Don't wait to do this tomorrow. Don't wait to do this in 5 hours from now. Actually sit down and do this now. So I'm going to end on this. I will be live tomorrow on Shanda On Demand, same time at 11 a.m. Atlantic Standard Time, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and 7 a.m. for my beautiful Pacific Coasters, okay? So my West Coasters. So much love. I hope this live helped you. And Faith will be messaging a few of you guys, letting you know that you won the prepaid visa because you stayed attentive and engaged and paying attention today. So much love to you. Merry Christmas. It's almost Christmas. I'm so excited. All right, I'll talk to you soon. Bye.